The moon doesn't just fade away, it vanishes. In a single silent heartbeat, the sky turns into a void of absolute unnatural black. Before you can even scream, the oceans begin to heave. Gravity itself feels like it's glitching. Cities on the coastlines have exactly 12 minutes before the first tidal mountain hits with the force of 1,000 megatons. You are standing on a planet that has lost its stabilizer, and you are currently living through the final hours of the world you once knew. How does humanity survive the first 24 hours on a rogue, moonless rock? This isn't a science lecture. This is a planetary death spiral. The moon's gravity was holding the Earth in check. Now that leash is gone, and the planet is thrashing in agony. You can feel the ground literally screaming as tectonic plates slam into each other, no longer held in place by the lunar pull. This is the moment the Earth's spine snapped. The crust is cracking like a cheap smartphone screen under pressure. If you're near a coast, don't waste your breath running. That wall of water is already moving faster than a fighter jet, and it's going to turn your city into a liquid blender. We are talking about 100-meter surges that don't just flood cities, they scour the bedrock, erasing entire geographic features in minutes. The sheer kinetic energy of these waves is turning the ocean floor into a mortar, grinding everything in its path into nothingness. The night sky is now a black hole. No stars, no glow, just pure, suffocating void. And the wind? It's not blowing, it's shredding. With the Earth wobbling like a broken engine, the atmosphere has turned into a 300-kilometer-per-hour meat grinder. Buildings aren't standing, they are disintegrating. The skyscrapers of the old world are now nothing but jagged, skeletal debris being hurled across the plains by winds that strip the paint off metal and the skin off bone. If you're on the surface, you're already a casualty. Infrastructure? Total collapse. The grid is dead. The satellites are blind, and the only thing you can hear is the roar of a planet literally tearing itself apart. We are forced to go deep. We are diving into the emergency deep-bore tunnels, cramming into reinforced bunkers, fighting for every inch of steel-shielded space. This is Survival 101. If you aren't in a steel-reinforced, seismic-dampened bunker, you're already part of the debris field. The air inside these tubes is thick with the smell of recycled dust and panic. We don't have time for debates or panic attacks. We have a list of priorities. Seal the bulkhead, check the pressure, calibrate the oxygen scrubbers, and pray the mountain above us doesn't decide to flatten our ceiling. Every second is a tactical decision between life and the crushing weight of 1,000,000 tons of granite.
Communication is dead. Without the moon, the ionosphere's rippling like a flag in a hurricane, turning our high-frequency radio and satellite links into static-filled noise. We are isolated. Every bunker is a lonely island in a sea of stone. We try to pull signals through the bedrock, using low-frequency sonic pings to talk to the next sector, but half the time the response is just the groan of shifting rock. We are literally blind in the dark. We don't know who survived or if there's a government left. We are down to the survival of the immediate group. If the power at the regional junction dies, we don't just lose lights, we lose the ventilation that keeps us from suffocating. We're not researching anything. We're fighting for every liter of oxygen. The filtration systems are redlining, fighting to keep the toxic, pulverized dust of the surface world from turning our lungs into charcoal. One bad seal, one broken pipe, and it's game over. We spend every waking second obsessing over pipes, pumps, and rivets. If one bolt snaps under the pressure of the planet's new erratic vibration, the entire tunnel network floods with freezing high-pressure brine. We are a maintenance crew on a dying ship, and the ship is the planet itself. We move in a low, crouched gait, always staying close to the bracing, always listening for the high-pitched whine of metal under stress, the sound of an impending structural failure. Water is our greatest enemy. We don't have a clean ocean anymore. We have a planetary predator. We pull our intake from deep-bore wells, filtering it through industrial-grade reverse osmosis membranes that clog every few hours with the sludge of the apocalypse. If the filtration system fails, you don't just go thirsty, you go toxic. The water coming from the surface is heavy with sediments and chemicals that shouldn't exist in human biology. We treat every drop like liquid gold, recycling 99% of our intake. We don't have windows, we have viewports of reinforced, 5-centimeter thick transparent aluminum that rattle every time a tectonic shift sends a pulse through the mountain. We have forgotten the color blue. We have forgotten the warmth of the sun. We are creatures of the dark, born into a nightmare where the Earth is trying to shake us off like parasites. We map the planet's erratic wobble with sonic sensors, tracing the movement of the crust as it grinds against itself. Every ripple in the seismic data is a death sentence for someone, somewhere in the tunnel grid. We've turned ourselves into gear teeth in a dying machine. We eat synthesized chemical paste, we breathe recycled thin air, and we watch the sensors blink red. If the vibration spikes above critical threshold, we hunker down, brace against the walls, and wait for the floor to settle.
We don't think about tomorrow because we might not make it to the next hour. The planet is trying to kill us, and we are just trying to outrun the clock. Our heart rates are synchronized to the tremor of the bunkers, a survival reflex that keeps us from going catatonic in the absolute darkness. We communicate through haptic pulses on our gear, a silent, efficient language of survival. There is no luxury, no comfort, no civilization left to save. There is only the steel, the rock, and the fight to keep the pressure from equalizing with the void. We are the survivors who decided to build our home inside the engine of the apocalypse, hoping that the rhythm holds until we can finally stop running. The silence of the void above us is the loudest thing in our lives. It's a constant psychological hammer, a reminder that the anchor is gone and we are drifting, tumbling, and slowly breaking apart. We have become a species that lives in the shadows, clinging to the subterranean warmth while the surface above us is being erased by the ghosts of a broken orbit. We are the stewards of a dying, spinning rock, clinging to the only stability we have left, our own capability to repair, reinforce, and endure. We are mechanics in a tomb we built ourselves, praying that the next day doesn't bring a shift in the rotation that crushes us all. You look at the slow, steady rhythm of your own sky and think it's going to stay that way forever. You're wrong. One shift, one missing piece, and the whole system goes dark. If you were stuck down here in the absolute black, watching your oxygen levels drop while the world above you gets pulverized, would you have the guts to keep fixing the pipes, or would you just give up and let the void win?